Oh, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel. Yes, we are coming off the night after. The night after Monday Night Football, where the Miami Dolphins got back in the win column, defeating the Los Angeles Rams in SoFi, and now we shift our attention. We shift our attention to the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday afternoon, but before we do that, I got a couple things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk a little bit about last night's game, and then there's two new things that came out today from the Miami Dolphins. One really damn good, and the other one really fucking sucks. And we'll get to both of them in a little bit, but I go on social media and I listen to podcasts, and I will be the first to tell you, I have given this team a lot of criticism this season because it's been bad. They've had a really bad season. They still stink, in my honest opinion. They still stink. Just because they beat the Rams last night, it does not make them a good football team. But what I am seeing this morning and what I'm listening to this morning is people not saying people saying that the Rams were not that good, and the Rams are not that good of a football team. And I don't know, man. I disagree with that. I think the Rams are a really good football team. You look at last year and what they did. They got to the postseason. And in the beginning of the season, yes. If we played the Rams at the beginning of the season without Puka Nakua, without Cooper Cup, and we beat them last night without those guys, I understand your argument. But they have studs on defense. They have studs. They have weapons, great weapons at the offense. And we held their offense out of the end zone. Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup are a top five. No argument made. Top five wide receiver duo in the NFL. Matt Stafford is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's going to be a Hall of Famer someday. When he decides to retire 5 years later, Matt Stafford is going to be a Hall of Famer. But I see people on social media underestimating the Rams and the win last night over the Rams. They beat a really good football team on the road. Now, is the Rams going to end up making the playoffs? I don't know. They're not out of it, but the way the NFC's looking, the only way the Rams are really going to get into playoffs is if they win the division. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of tough games on the Rams schedule, such as playing against the Eagles, playing against Buffalo, playing in San Francisco. So the Rams have a lot of work to do. They got to play the Cardinals. The Rams, I don't think, are going to make it in as a wild card team. They could at the end of the day, but I don't see it happening. But when you have a team like the Dolphins, who has been downright an abomination the last 3 weeks, they you could make a case they should be 3-0 in those games. They should have beaten Indianapolis. They fell short. They should have beaten Arizona. They fell short. They should have beaten Buffalo. They fell short. You could make an argument that the Dolphins, instead of 3-6, should be 6-3 heading into this game on Sunday. And the way they won last night, the defense, that Rams offense is really good. And I will not agree with people saying that the Rams win was not that great, because it was. It was a really damn good win on the road, on prime time. It was a confidence booster that this Miami Dolphins team absolutely needed. Now, what doesn't give you a confidence booster is the news of Austin Jackson. And I don't even know how this happened. I don't even know when he got hurt in that Buffalo. Did he get hurt in the Buffalo game? Did he get hurt in practice? Who knows? We won't know. But Austin Jackson has a knee injury. He did not play last night, and he got put on IR. So I'm thinking, okay, at worst, he's out for the next 4 games. If the season's over, possibly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. So they win last night to technically keep their season alive. And Austin Jackson, in a span of 24 hours, because last night we were talking like 4 games IR. He has potential to come back this year. Now he's getting knee surgery. Mike McDaniel has ruled him out for the season. He's getting knee surgery, and McDaniel expects him to be ready for 2025 training camp. And what I will say about it is 2 things. Number one, this sucks because the offensive line, they played bad last night. They did not have a good game against that Rams defensive front at all. They did not have a good game. Robert Jones, before he got injured, Liam Eichenberg, Kendall Lamb a couple times didn't have a good game. So really the only 2 offensive linemen on this team you could depend on is Teron Armstead and Aaron Brewer. And that's about it. And now we are down a tackle. We don't have Austin Jackson for the rest of the season, who was fine. He had a couple slip-ups this year. He hasn't had a great season like he did last year. He was awesome last year for the Miami Dolphins. And now this year, you don't have him for this game against the Rams. And now you don't have him for the rest of the season. Kendall Lamb is a dependable backup. Kendall Lamb, when needed last year for Teron Armstead, he was good. He was needed at right tackle once last year in the Dallas game. But now, for the rest of the season, I mean, this season could be ending very quickly. Who knows? You lose one more game, and you're probably toasted, depending on how things go. So, you're officially cooked. But now for the rest of the season, you got to depend on a guy who's comfortable at playing left tackle, but he's going to be playing right tackle. And he wasn't all that great last night. And we have some really tough defensive lines coming up. Max Crosby with the Raiders. The Patriots. I will give them their credit. Yes, the Chicago Bears had a ton of backup offensive linemen on Sunday, but the Patriots sacked Caleb Williams 9 times on Sunday. 9 times. That's a hell of a lot of sacks. And Green Bay's got it. We are facing some good defensive fronts these next coming weeks. And now we are going to be out without our right tackle. And the other thing I will say is, outside of last year, Austin Jackson's been hurt every season. He was hurt at portions in the 2021 season. In the 2022 season, if you guys remember, he played the first game. He was injured. He did not come back until week 12, I believe it was, against the Texans. And he got hurt in that game, and he was out for the season. So he came back for 1 game and he already got another injury, and he was out for the season. Last year, completely healthy. No setbacks, no injuries, completely fine. And now this year, Again, I don't even know how Austin Jackson injured his knee, whether it was in that game against the Bills or practice. I have no idea. But now he's out for the season. And it is a pretty damn big loss for this Dolphins team to be losing Austin Jackson. And now you are thin at tackle. And this goes back to the offseason where Chris Greer said, you guys are more worried about the offensive line than we are. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I'm very worried. Especially with the guys we're going to be playing. I'm very worried against a guy like Max Crosby. Very worried. And then, finally, the good news for the Dolphins is today. Now, I will say, before this happened, if we... First of all, the Dolphins signed linebacker Tyrel Dodson from the Seattle Seahawks. They have claimed him off waivers, and he's going to fill Austin Jackson's roster spot. There's no practice squad for Tyrel Dodson. He's going to be straight in the defense, right in the linebacker room. He was cut from the Seattle Seahawks, and if the Dolphins don't beat the Rams on Monday Night Football last night, Tyrel Dodson is not a Miami Dolphin. But Chris Greer has been paying attention. He brings in Tyrel Dodson. And yes, Anthony Walker's been playing good. He did get an interception last night. But ladies and gentlemen, Tyrel Dodson is an upgrade over Anthony Walker 100%. So this has been Tyrel Dodson's season so far. He's played 9 games for the Seattle Seahawks. He had 66 total tackles, which has led the team. 2 sacks, a forced fumble, 2 passes defended, 1 quarterback hit, 4 hurries, 7 pressures. He's having a great year for the Seattle Seahawks, and he has played out of anybody on that Seahawks defense. He has played the most defensive snaps out of any Seahawks defender, which has been, according to Next Gen Stats, 98.3 defensive snaps percentage that he is out on the field for the Seattle Seahawks. And this is a shock that the Seahawks, they cut Tyrel Dodson, but this is just a great opportunity for the Miami Dolphins, which he is going to make our defense better. And this is what Seattle head coach Mike Macdonald had to say about the Seahawks organization cutting Tyrel Dodson.
What went into the decision to move on from Tyrel Dodson? Well, we really appreciate T-Dot. I mean, he's worked extremely hard, rehabbed, throughout the offseason here. I think this was an opportunity for us when we kind of sat and took a step back and realized where we were at. It was really the best thing for us to move forward that way, give the other guys in the room an opportunity to step up. I hope those guys grab that opportunity by the horns and take it and run with it. And then it gives Tyrel an opportunity to find another spot somewhere else, so he can finish the year strong. So that was the thought behind it.
So this feels like a youth move for the Seattle Seahawks. Get the younger guys more reps. They're 4-5. They play the San Francisco 49ers this week. That's probably 4-6. So their season's going downhill. And I'm not saying the Dolphins' season's going uphill. I still think there's no way they're going to make the playoffs. I don't believe in them when it comes to making the playoffs. If we beat Green Bay, if we win these next 3 games, talk to me then. But for now, I don't believe in it. But, man, this is a great signing. Tyrel Dodson next to Jordan Brooks should be great. And he should be implemented in the defense right away. Will we see him on the field as soon as Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders? I would assume the majority of snaps are going to go to Anthony Walker. But again, Anthony Walker or Tyrel Dodson is an upgrade over Anthony Walker. That's no disrespect to Anthony Walker. Tyrel Dodson's just better. So, that is some good news for the Miami Dolphins as they look forward now and they attempt to keep their season alive on Sunday against the 2-7 Las Vegas Raiders. Guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. We'll be back on Friday with a preview of the Miami Dolphins versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter, Conlin_Joseph. And hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you Friday. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, go Dolphins.